This is like legitimately athletic. Why? Just a couple of British beasts blasting off with V8s and turbos.
Today's video is sponsored by GridForge.
Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and welcome to the 2023 Bentley Continental GTC Azure. I love a Continental, but I'm more familiar with old school Bentleys because of my good friend Chris at the Depreciation Society, who's always putting me in his 04 Azure, his Continental GTs that are W12s, and all these other things. But I've been really looking forward to driving the latest and greatest of the Continental, and this is absolutely stunning. Now, under the hood, it has a twin turbo V8 that makes 542 horsepower. It still does 0 to 60 in 4 seconds because it's all-wheel drive, and it can sure put that power down. So, despite being a big body Bentley with all the luxuries and privilege that comes with driving the car with the big B on it, it still can get out of its own way. In fact, we've been playing around today with the Aston Martin DBX 707 and that Lamborghini Huracan Storado. This keeps up. In fact, this is faster in some situations because it has oodles of torque. But first of all, let's talk about price. $350,000. The base price on the GTC Azure, I believe, is $313,000. So with options, that's where we're at. And we'll go through the spec list because there's no way I'm going to remember that off the top of my head. But first, let's just take a look. This is really special, and you'll notice that the wheels all have the center caps facing the correct direction because, like the old Rolls-Royce days, these move so that way they're weighted on the bottom, and that way no matter what you're doing, the B is always perfectly centered. I love that for photos. It makes my life quite a bit easier. Giant brakes, oh my goodness, giant brakes to bring this big heavy vehicle down to a stop. And gluing us to the road up front is a 275 section tire and a 315 section tire in the rear, both on 22-inch wheels. That's outrageous. That is so wild. So I'm expecting this to be able to handle pretty well. But inside, oh, it's all Bentley. We've got the Azure badge here, these gorgeous seats with the Azure embroidered into the headrest, and some usable space in the rear if we didn't have our little wind deflector back here. But it's a convertible. We'll play with the top in a bit, and all of the nice switchgear. So the stuff I love about Bentleys, Rolls-Royces is that everything you touch is ornamental. It's jewelry. It's nice. That's why you pay the big bucks for these things, because even in high-end cars, even that Lamborghini, buttons are not necessarily going to be aluminum. No, they're going to feel plasticky and cheap. And yeah, since this has become a Volkswagen product many years ago, how dare a fly land in this car? There are certain things like, this is plastic. It's nice plastic. It has good feedback and all that stuff. But there are some things that just are going to be slightly cost-cutty, but everything always has a nice veneer to it. So it doesn't look like it, and anything that's plastic doesn't just stand out at you as potential junk. It's just kind of hidden and mixed in with the real stuff. Let's take a look in the boot, because when you have a Bentley convertible, you are going to have a little bit of space missing because you got to put that big top back there. But this is still reasonable, I suppose. I mean, you can fit a couple of bags back here. I think I'm going to be picking up the Topher from the airport in this later on. It's going to be raining and yucky, and we're going to have to put his bags back here, and it should do the job. But it is a kind of laughably small little boot lid because you have all of this real estate to cover a 4-seater convertible. Now let's take a look under the hood. Gone are the days where you would pull up on the Bentley B on the first generation Continental GTs, but alas, we have a Audi product under the hood, and you kind of get the vibe that it's an Audi product because of where it's placed, because look at this. That is all front engine, not a lot in the way of weight and balance to try to keep this thing facing backwards, or at least balanced in the middle. But we still have the Bentley B oil filler cap, the little things that still make it feel good. The W12 has been discontinued, but that would be the most Bentley vibe when it comes to the GT, even though it's still an Audi Volkswagen engine. Anyway, let's play with the roof for a second, and then we'll jump in and go for a drive.
But before we hit the road, let me introduce our sponsor, GridForge. GridForge is offering topographically accurate 3D track models that you can personalize. They're 3D printed, so you can actually see the elevation change in all of these tracks on the plaque. And now they're also making key trays. So if you don't want to hang something on your wall, but you just want a cool spot to keep your keys, this great little wooden key tray that's laser etched can be personalized for your car or a historic racetrack or whatever you'd like. So head over to gridforgemfg.com and get your lap record, historic racetrack, or custom images printed and laser etched to show off your favorite car or racetrack.
So I'll hit our engine start stop button here. This flips up to a gorgeous screen. Yes, yes, yes. These are the things that we can appreciate maybe about this being a Volkswagen product, because you do get some stuff that's really nice that maybe Bentley wouldn't have done if they had their own way, if they had to pay their own way through all those times. And then we'll push this up, and up comes our roof. Very well controlled. The old school Bentley Azure would have kind of slapped that roof down a little bit right from the last bit, and it would have just hit. This stays in control the whole time, which is really special and cool. And there we have it. That's what she looks like with the top up, so you can take your phone calls and do your business, because unless you've got daddy's money, you're going to need to do something to earn this. Ooh, soft closed doors. Thank you very much. Everything moves just a little bit slower. Everything's damped. That's really nice. All right, let's talk prices. Okay, I told you $350,000 this thing. So the paint job is $6,400. Not terrible considering this is in the Volkswagen Group, and for a PTS color at Porsche it cost you 12 or 13 grand. Contrast stitching and seat piping $3,700. Contrast gear lever and steering wheel spokes $1,080. All right, but here's a big one down here. The Bang & Olufsen for Bentley, $7 grand. The Bentley rotating display that I so much loved a minute ago is $6,600. Oh boy. The dual finish dark fiddleback eucalyptus over grand black is $5,100. Yeah, so this is painful, but this is what we're talking about when we get into the Bentley world. You got to pay to play. And if you didn't pay the $2,500 for the diamond knurling, well, are you pedestrian? Why are you even driving a Bentley? But anyway, I kid. It's wonderful. I can't afford it, but I'm going to enjoy it. To start it, foot on the brake. Ooh, that's a nice sound. There's too many controls. Let's see. There we go. This better have massaging seat. There it is. Found it. Let's see, can we put the top down? Yes, we can while we're driving. That's the stuff, baby. All right, let's get out on the road and play with our big boy Bentley. You can put each window down individually, of course, but you can hit this single button and then down, and they all go down at once, which I really dig. That makes life a lot easier, and it just looks cool when they all go down together. Let's see how this thing accelerates. That is graceful. It's sure nipping away at those front wheels though. My goodness. Wow. I can't believe the turn in. I mean, I guess it's got 275s up front, but this is like legitimately athletic. Why? Just a couple of British beasts blasting off with V8s and turbos. Oh my goodness. What a shocking revelation I'm having right now. This is I did not expect to be thinking my stuff would be floating around the car. And this is a monster. What a monster. Oh my goodness. Bentley, who knew? Be a little nicer on oncoming, but why is this so good? Having a hard time understanding how this car is stringing together these corners with ease and compliance. Oh, Bentley, you're not an old man car. You are a sure-footed Grand Tourer that is going to surprise some of your more athletic siblings in the Volkswagen group. Wild. Yeah, I'm a happy guy. I am blown away. This thing rips, absolutely rips. Not only does it have grip, but like when you hit any kind of bump or undulation mid-corner, it absorbs it and it just puts the tire back on the ground immediately. There's no fussiness. There's like essentially no body roll either, because it's taking it all up with the adaptive suspension. And while you can pretty much operate this on a knife edge, it doesn't feel so sharp that you're worried about what's going to happen. You always feel like you have like this really nice elastic edge to the end of grip, and it allows you to play with it comfortably in a way that I'm not really that familiar with. This is a unique experience for me, and I drive everything. This is great. With the top down, you get a little bit of that rumble out of the back of the car, which are over, I mean, everywhere. The brakes are luxurious, which is always a scary word to use for brakes, but it means that when you get into them, they don't just throw you through the windscreen. They definitely give you the idea that it wants you to have a smooth stop, if nothing else. All right, we got to go a little slow here to get this top to go up all the way. All right. See what she's like with the top up. Oh, what a lovely roof. I mean, this is solid. This doesn't feel like a convertible right now. So much torque. This thing is a monster. You gotta be careful. The wind noise, not intrusive in the cabin. You're aware that you're in a convertible, but it's not flapping my head around or anything. I don't, you know, you could have someone in here with nice hair and they'd be fine. great lateral support from these seats. This is genuinely not what I was expecting from this car. Look at that over the bumps. It soaks it up, puts the wheel back down, provides the grip. GR Corolla, funky Tesla with blingy wheels. See that? Just spiky power? It's kind of wild. You know, when you see that V8 hanging so far out over the nose of this car, you don't expect that it's going to turn in the way it does. Sure, it'll understeer before anything else, but it's pretty progressive and predictable and easy to reel back in, even with all this weight. What a wow! So sure, we can go on and on about features and luxuries and this and that. It has all of those things. That goes without saying. I mean, you can look it up if you'd like. But this is a driver's car. It is a car you're going to want to drive. It's a car that everyone who gets in this will be shocked at what it is capable of, because I sure am. Wow. So that's going to be a first little taste of the athleticism of the Bentley Continental GTC Azure. I had no idea. Genuinely was fully unaware. Nobody, maybe I'm not reading enough, maybe I'm not watching enough YouTube, but I feel like nobody told me this car was ridiculous like this. This is crazy. This is so incredible. So thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.